All right, what's going on, everybody? We all saw earlier Dylan posted a video about the Julio Jones trade being confirmed to the Titans, sorry, from the
So,
Falcons. But we today, me and Kian are going to go more in depth about this, a little bit of analysis behind the scenes stuff, and we all saw the details came out, and we're just going to be talking more about the exact details of the trade and going super in depth about it.
yeah, and more specifically, really, who we obviously thought won and lost this
Yeah,
trade.
of
Who
course.
were the winners, who were the losers. Not only team wise was it a win for Julio, but obviously the full trade breakdown. Rapport tweeted, it's on my phone right now. So the Titans obviously got Julio Jones. The Falcons got a 2022 second round pick, so a second round pick in this year's upcoming NFL draft. Um, and then the Titans got Julio Jones and a sixth round pick. So the Titans only got that second rounder. It's reported that they as well got a fourth rounder earlier. Obviously, was not confirmed. But really, the big news here is obviously, Julio Jones is now going to what people are thinking the best receiving deal we've ever seen with AJ Brown, which I think is absurd. But obviously, the Titans now take on his 15.3 million salary that year. And the question that has basically been with Julio Jones these past 2, 3 years is for the money he is paid and how much he gets injured, is he worth it? He's already 32, but I think he still makes a huge impact. So I think for the Titans, it's a very, very good deal. But Charlie, what do you think? What's the effect on the Titans? Was it a good deal? What are your kind of thoughts on the whole situation?
I think the Falcons ripped him off. Or sorry, the Titans ripped him off. I think that the Titans definitely got the better end of this deal. I think Julio Jones is arguably still a top 10 receiver in the NFL.
I think when
When
healthy, I
he
agree. So
when he's healthy, we've seen how good he is. An interesting stat, in the past 10 years, Julio Jones has more 100-yard receiving games than the Titans. Julio Jones has 58
wow.
100-yard receiving games, while the Titans have 50. Uh,
Okay.
that's immediately the impact he's going to have. He brings that dominant receiver. It's a loaded offense with Julio. They obviously offloaded Corey Davis in free agency, and we saw they needed a number two receiver. I don't know who their number two receiver would have been if they didn't
Yeah,
have
they
Julio
got Reynolds from
Jones.
the Rams.
It's not a
Yeah,
deep core.
right.
But when Julio Jones and AJ Brown are your one and two, that's potentially the best 1-2 duo in the NFL. I think it's obviously up there with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, but we've seen how effective those duos are, and especially Tannehill has proven himself to be a good enough quarterback for the Titans offense, especially with Derrick Henry in the backfield. But they also got rid of Jonnu Smith in free agency, so they were really lacking receiving threats. So I think the Julio Jones move was genius. In my opinion, Julio Jones is worth at least a first round pick still. And I think that the Falcons kind of screwed this one up big time.
Yeah, this one's a tough one to break down because at the end of the day, if Julio's healthy, this, as you said, first round pick worthy, 50 million easily, he's worth that. But I mean, at the end of the day, Julio could play 3 games. Julio could play
Yeah,
4 games. I
possible.
don't think this guy will play more than 10. He's just consistently injured. When he is, this guy is when he is fully healthy and playing well, this guy's a top 5 receiver. He'll obviously, and I don't know. I mean, Charlie, there's a chance where he steps in and is that wide receiver 1B, 1A, not as necessarily 1 and 2.
Right.
But what I love about this is just like physically a large offense. Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Julio Jones, even their coach Mike Vrabel now is a big dude. I mean, this team is I'm straying away from the point, but I think this defense this offense is a physical offense, and going into
Yeah.
a division with the Colts, with obviously you're a top team, you're going to go up against other top teams, whether that be in the playoffs, a team that has this grit and or this offense that really has this grit, and obviously Derrick Henry being able to run the ball, and then you have Tannehill, who, if you say he's a top 10 quarterback to me, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I would take it. I don't even know if I would put him in my top 10. I might, but I think Tannehill's there. I think he's shown that he can get the ball out. I think, with AJ Brown there. And I think also an interesting story is, will Julio Jones be number 11? I wonder if AJ Brown will give him. It's saying number 8. Who knows? That's besides the point. But
We'll
I would
see.
say my winner. I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm going to say, yeah, the Titans are a winner now. I think the Falcons will be a winner at the end of the year with that second round selection. I know that sounds very, very not out of pocket, but kind of like, no one's saying that right now. But I think, second round picks can be very good because at least this year you saw so many first round value players go into that second round for a Falcons defense that needs so much. You give up Julio Jones, who wanted to leave, someone who was injured, And I think you have to
Yeah.
right now. People aren't looking at the Falcons situation. You have Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage. You now have Kyle Pitts, who is basically a receiver. They at the end of the day, and I know it's crazy. I'm saying this. They didn't really need Julio Jones. And to get a second rounder and offload that 15 million and have 7 million in dead money this year, I think it made sense. I think the Falcons will be the winner at the end of the year. Again, if Julio stays healthy, probably not. But I think this Titans offense is scary. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think that in a way, if I had to pick a winner or loser, I don't know that I could pick. I think they're kind of both winners in this
Yeah.
situation. I think that the Titans did not have to give up much value for a top receiver when healthy, and even if he's not healthy, they still did not have to give up much, just a second and fourth round pick, of course. And I think that right now it's the Falcons situation that matters in terms of winner loser for this trade because it's not that they didn't need Julio, but the Falcons are pretty much in full rebuild mode right now. I think that other than, I mean, they've got to try to rebuild the team around Calvin Ridley, who maybe 2 years ago you couldn't have gotten rid of Julio because Ridley was not ready. But Ridley is ready to be a number one receiver in the NFL. And obviously, they're going to be needing a new quarterback soon enough with Matt Ryan aging, and their running back staff is not great. But I think that with the Falcons being in rebuild mode, the extra money, the extra draft picks, anything they can get for, and again, an aging, potentially injury prone receiver is worth it for them. I think that the Titans are probably the bigger winners in my eye, but I think that the I think that this is not the worst trade that we've seen in the NFL this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a, DeAndre Hopkins like trade where they
Yeah.
got completely ripped.
Oh
But
no.
at the end of the day, that's what we think about that Julio Jones situation. As always, do make sure to subscribe to the channel on the road to 1,500 subscribers. So if you could help us out get there, that would mean the absolute world. More videos to come. Buster Boom Washington football team coming tomorrow. Obviously, if you guys don't know about that, we break down and preview
Uh-oh.
each NFL team for the 2021 NFL season. Dylan was on that video, so that is an interesting one for sure. I was
Scary.
on it as well. But make sure you guys turn on notifications so you don't miss that video dropping tomorrow later, probably around 7 p.m. Eastern time. We will see you then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out all the socials linked in the description down below. Without further ado, we'll see you next time.